We're preparing for round number 8 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. What a stellar lineup today at the Lakeside course. Let's have a look through for you. Mark Scaife on pole position in the Nissan GTR. Peter Brock in the Mobile Commodore from 2. Jim Richards in the Nissan from 3. Tony Longhurst from 4 in the first of the Bimmers. Alan Jones starts out at position number 5. From 6, it's Glenn Seaton in the Peter Jackson Sierra. Dick Johnson well back in the pack today from 7. John Bow starts out of 8. From 9, it's Larry Perkins in the second of the Mobile Commodores. Alan Grice back in action in the 16 Holden Racing Team Commodore. Well, there's your starting lineup. The big surprise, I guess, is the fact that Peter Brock, Neil Crompton, starts on the outside of the front row.
It's been a great performance from Peter and the Mobile team. They've got some new Bridgestone tyres this weekend, and it'll be very, very interesting to see whether Brock can match the pace of the Nissans. He's actually a little upset or unhappy at the moment about the position of Mark Scaife's car, I think, judging by the body language.
Well, yes, right on the line, not too far off the start of the penultimate round of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. The grand final, of course, at Sydney's Oran Park Raceway on the 11th of August. Green flag is up at the tail of the field. It's clear. Watch Scaife get off the line. Racing, then they explode into life. Look at Richardson right in behind, and Johnson out on the grass. Tried to muscle his way past the BMWs. Bow goes the inside. Johnson side, heading down to the carousel for the first time. You'll find it's Nissan 1-2, Brock 3rd, then the 2 Johnson cars, followed by the BMW. A brilliant start by Glenn Seaton, and Alan Jones pushing up here on the inside. They're off to a great start. Now they head down towards the Dunlop Bridge.
Great start again from the Nissans, as you'd expect. The four-wheel drive of both Mark Scaife and Jim Richards. Explosive off the line. The 2 Nissans heading off into the distance in terms of the gap back to the rest of the two-wheel drive brigade. Brock's tagging along a little bit, and then we've got this fascinating scrap with the 2 Shell cars and the BMW splitting them. Very, very busy at work. 3rd position. By far the best performance from the Mobile team in 1991. It had their woes coming to terms with the VN Commodore this year. They've had some problems getting the appropriate setup with the car. They've now got some new tyres. They've got the new spec engine in the car this weekend. Brock's a happy chappy.
In terms of handling, Neil, how much more difficult is the Commodore to manhandle around here than the Nissans?
Well, the Commodore's probably a little bit heavier to steer. Look at the BMW, it's so nimble. I'll come back to that. Let's concentrate on this battle here, Gary, with the 2 Sierras and the BMW getting stuck right into it. John Bow. They tested up here about 3 or 4 weeks ago with some new Dunlop tyres with the Shell cars, and they tested very effectively, but they don't seem to have been able to translate the speed this weekend. Bow being attacked at the moment. Look at the BMW, it's such a strong package. Tony Longhurst underneath, using all the road, using the true assets and advantages of the car. It's great under brakes, and as soon as he saw a gap, bang, straight through. And his teammate Alan Jones is going to be right in this battle as well as they come back onto the main straight. Yes, you're right, the Commodore's probably a harder physical package to deal with over the course of 50 minutes.
Johnson sprinting in the draft of teammate John Bow at this stage. Notice Grice there, right behind them, starting to close up on the pack. This is where the real race is at the moment, with lots of cars trying to pass and repass. Once again into the carousel. Bow, Johnson, up on the inside of Johnson comes AJ.
This is the battle for 5th. Bow 5th, Johnson 6th, Jones 7th, Seaton 8th, then Perkins and Grice. Out front we've got Scaife from Richards, Brock in 3rd position, and Tony Longhurst having a lonely run as we look at Dunlop race cam, and there goes Alan Jones underneath, and that's the gap that he's been looking for.
Here's the scrap for 3rd, Peter Perfect. 05 Mobile Commodore, and right behind him the aggressive Tony Longhurst stalking after the 2 Nissans as they come down the front straight. And the bloke in the little yellow B&H 25 is going to keep Brocky busy. Is he what? Straight down under brakes. Now Brocky will try and snitch him again on the inside. No chance on the exit of the turn because Longhurst is out right on the ripple. He is now advanced into 3rd.
It's cost him plenty in tyre wear though, Neil.
Yeah, he nipped up the front right a little bit just heading in there as we take the speed cam shot. Interestingly, the gap from these 2 guys back to Alan Jones in the 2nd B&H BMW is 9.6 seconds, and I think you'll find in the coming 5 to 10 laps that gap shrinks dramatically and Peter Brock will come under threat from the other BM. Cars 16 and 17, Alan Grice and Dick Johnson. They were battling for 7th and 8th positions, as Gary mentioned a few minutes ago, and they've got all out of shape and disappeared off into the carousel, and a lot of steam coming out from under the bonnet of the Johnson car. Let's take a look at a replay and see whether we can get an idea of what happened here. Oh, Grice making contact with the left rear of Johnson's car and enough to spin him around. Well, that just leaves John Bowe now to fly the shell flag in this battle. And haven't the cars evaporated out of that scrap now?
We certainly have Bowe trying to contain Glenn Seaton. The two of them have been together for, what about the last 6 or 7 laps? Seaton was involved with challenging Johnson at the same time. So the title of the hot running Ford man. Oh, Bowie's gone. There she is, the full 360 right across the racetrack. They're able to miss Larry Perkins, who came through. And what's the gap back to Longhurst?
3.5 seconds on the last lap. I'll recheck it for you. 3.09. He's made half a second in the last lap, so that tells the story. The Nissans are out to low 54s, high 53s, and the BMW is still doing 53.5.
Well,
but that might also not work in Tony Longhurst's favour at the end of the day, because he might literally run out of rubber, and it's not that cool. I know it's cool in various parts of Australia at the moment. We've got a 20-degree day here at Lakeside, and that'll be giving the tyres some hard work.
Dick Johnson back into the pits, but I believe has put it behind the wall. Let's go down to our man in the pits, Mark Osler. What's the latest, Mark?
Mike, the story in the pits is we expected Johnson to come in for a stop for tyres. He just drove straight past his pit bay and put the car back in the garage. The reason was the radiator was damaged in that collision with Grice, so another DNF for the Johnson team.
And the last time through, Scaife's lap was a 54.42, so they're actually losing more speed, where the BMW is maintaining its speed in the high 53s.
Well, Jim Richards, ham in the sandwich here, has got a real dilemma on his hands. He really wants to get past his teammate, and
Look at
has
this.
to do so.
There he goes, Richards straight through on the inside of Scaife and hangs him out to dry just a little. But then again, it's time for the attack of the 25 B&H.
No problem with Scaife's car.
Yep.
He left a lot of room through Hungary Corner, which surprised me, and I thought at the time that was a little strange because there are no team orders between the two Nissan drivers, so Scaife with a problem. That would account for the reason why he suddenly lost the ground that he'd made on Richards early in the event. So it becomes a 2-horse race at the front of the pack, and Longhurst is on the charge. Let's go down to the pits and see what's happening here with Fred Gibson and the team. Mark Osler down there, what can you see?
Well, Mark Scaife in some sort of tyre trouble. They're changing all 4 tyres. I was talking to Fred Gibson earlier in the day. They're running the same compound they ran here in round 4 in April, but the pace is up about half a second, so maybe this is just taking the toll on these tyres.
Well, a pretty quick stop just the same.
Mark had a spin, which many people may have seen on 7 National News last night, and damaged the tyres. As many viewers would be aware, the touring car teams have to choose the 4 tyres that they want to both qualify on and race on, and it's 4 tyres that are marked and then you're stuck with. Oh, look at Longhurst here. He's in position for a pounce, goes round the outside, an amazing manoeuvre from Longhurst, and he takes the lead of round 8. Fabulous bit of driving from Longhurst.
Good, brave stuff around the outside. Crowd really appreciated that move from their local boy, Tony Longhurst.
Richards to the pits, is it? Yes, Richards in. Run out of rubber.
Unbelievable.
And look, he's signalling to the pits. What's all that about?
I'll be in next lap, probably.
He was signalling that time for sure. And are they all playing pit stop games?
Oh.
And off goes one of the Shell Sierras yet again. And it's got to be John Bowe, because we know that Johnson's in the pits. That's the 2nd time round for John today. It's been a tough weekend for the Shell team.
The car we spotted in the pits as Jim Richards went in was Peter Brock in 0.5. He's back out again in 9th place, and Jim Richards rejoined the race in 11th place.
I've got Longhurst leading Jones by 11.6 seconds at last count, and then Mark Scaife in 3rd, followed by Jim Richards. In 5th place we have Glenn Seaton. Behind him in 6th it's Colin Bond. 7th is Peter Brock, and behind Brocky it's Alan Grice in car number 16.
We go with Nissan race cam into the cockpit of Mark Scaife's GTR, and he's got some problem with the rev counter.
The car sounds and looks all right, but maybe we'll have a look at his lap time next time through and see what's happening.
Got a throttle problem, so he's communicated to his pit. He's got it full on. I think that's the problem.
Still putting in a quite... Yes, there's the wave from Mark and Jim goes through. He's still putting in useful lap times given the state of the engine, and Richo just acknowledges Mark's courtesy. That'll be a bit of disappointment for Mark Scaife, who's really been the pace here all week.
Frank Gary Wilkinson, what's the big difference for you between this meeting and the last one here at Lakeside?
About 400 test laps.
Hard work.
Yeah, lots of hard work. You get very lucky then.
Well, they say you make your own luck in racing, Frank. I hope it all pans out for you and you come up with that 1-2.
Be very nice, yeah, it'd be a real bonus. Thank you very much.
Tony lines it up for the checkered flag.
Coming out of the last corner, a great 1-2 here at Lakeside today for Team BMW. The Nissans back to 3rd and 4th, and Longhurst, the Queenslander, takes victory on home terrain. Second spot, of course, will go to Alan Jones, teammate in car number 20, the second of the Bimmers. Third goes to Jimmy Richards, 4th to Mark Scaife, and 5th to Glenn Seaton.
Great performance from Tony Longhurst. A 1-2 for the team. You must be ecstatic.
Oh, just over the moon, Neil. It's been a very big day for me in more ways than one.
Tony, where to from here?
Oran Park. Naturally, we're very happy with our result here, but we're going to work hard on the cars, and perhaps we can knock the Nissans off at Oran Park in 3 weeks.